Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Gopi Jana Sodhanandana Braja Jana Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Yamuna Tera Vanacha. Yamuna Tera Vanacha. Yamuna Tera Vanacha. Yamuna Tera Vanacha. Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadha. Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Kesho Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Siyata Jaya Gauranikai 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 Jaya Gauranikai Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Is there any Bhagavatam, or I'll just read from my computer? Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristaya Bhutale, Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi, Paschatya Desatarine. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanditam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakambitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarovyaścha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pabhanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9. I believe this is a matter of liberation. Yes. King Yayati regains his youth, chapter 18, text 23. Yayatir anabipretam Devo pritam atmana Manastu tadgatam buddha Prati jagraha tadvacha Yayatir anibe pretam Daivo pritam atmana Manastu tadgatam buddha Dijagraha tadvacha Jayatir anibe pretam Devo pritam atmana Manastu tadgatam buddha Patigraha tadvacha Manastu tadgatam buddha
Yayatiranivipretam Daivoparitamaatmanah Manastu Tadgatam Buddha Pratijagrahatadvacha Yayatiranivipretam Daivoparitamaatmanah Manastu Tadgatam Buddha Pratijagrahatadvacha Yayatiranivipretam Daivoparitamaatmanah Manastu Tadgatam Buddha Pratijagrahatadvacha Yayatiranivipretam Daivoparitamaatmanah Manastu Tadgatam Buddha
Pratigrahatadvacha.
Yayatiranivipretam Daivoparitamaatmanah Manastu Tadgatam Buddha Pratijagrahatadvacha
Word for word meaning. Yayati. King Yayati. Anabipretam. Not like. Daiva upaditam. Brought about by providential arrangements. Atmana. His personal interest. Mana. Mind. To. However. Tat gatam, being attracted to her, Buddha, by such intelligence, Pratijagraha, accepted, Tatvacha, the words of Devayani. Sukadev Goswami continued. Oh, wait. Let me do it first. Sukadev Goswami continued, because such a marriage is not sanctioned by regular scriptures, King Yayati did not like it, but because it was arranged by providence, and because he was attracted by Devayani's beauty, he accepted her request. So again, now you can do it. Everyone together.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, because such a marriage is not sanctioned by regular scriptures, King Yayati did not like it, but because it was arranged by providence, and because he was attracted by Yayati's beauty, he accepted her request.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to the Vedic system, the parents would consider the horoscopes of the boy and girl who were to be married. Can you please turn it up a little bit, my voice? I don't want to strain too much my voice. Maybe, who knows how to do this? One more? I'm not asking one more of this. I'm asking this. Hari, thank you very much. Again, purport. According to the Vedic system, the parents would consider the horoscopes of the boy and girl who were to be married. If, according to astrological calculations, the boy and girl were compatible in every respect, the match was called Yotaka, and the marriage would be accepted. Even 50 years ago, This system was current in Hindu society. Regardless of the affluence of the boy or the personal beauty of the girl, without this astrological compatibility, the marriage would not take place. A person is born in one of the three categories known as Devagana, Manushagana, and Rakshasagana. In different parts of the universe, there are demigods and demons. And in human society also, some people resemble demigods, whereas others resemble demons. If, according to astrological calculations, there was conflict between a godly and a demoniac nature, the marriage would not take place. Similarly, there were calculations of pratiloma and anuloma. The central idea is that if the boy and girl were on an equal level, the marriage would be happy, whereas inequality would lead to unhappiness. Because care is no longer taken in marriage, we now find many divorces. Indeed, divorce has now become a common affair. Although formerly one's marriage would continue lifelong, and the affection between husband and wife was so great that the wife would voluntarily die when her husband died, or would remain a faithful widow throughout her entire life. Now, of course, this is no longer possible, for human society has fallen to the level of animal society. Marriage now takes place simply by agreement. Dampatye bichurir biruchir hetu. Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 2, Text 3. The word abiruchi means agreement. If the boy and girl simply agree to marry, the marriage takes place. But when the Vedic system is not rigidly observed, marriage frequently ends in divorce. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yayatir ani vipretam jai bhuparitam atmana manas tutadgatam buddha pratigraha tadvacha. So here in the episode from the Srimad Bhagavatam, whereby the story of King Yayati, he got a boon somehow that he can exchange to any person about his age to be youthful again. And his youngest son, Puru, he accepted that. But before that, though, this is the situation whereby he found Devayani. Devayani is daughter of Shukracharya. Shukracharya is who?
Spiritual master of demons.
Oh, who?
Spiritual master of demons.
Oh, the demons have spiritual master. Yes, they have Gurukul also, the demons. Like we have Gurukul in Vrindavan, Bhaktivedanta Gurukul International School. Or Prahlad Maharaj also has a school because his father is Satriya, but king of demons. So they have also particular order. The universe has a particular order. There are personalities who live in Swargaloka. That means the demigods. They are a little bit more advanced in such a way that they have higher pleasures being experienced than here in the earthly planet. This Buloka, the planet of death, Buloka, or Mrityuloka, Mrityuloka. And the heavenly planets, they used to live for many, like Lord Brahma, he would live for 311 trillion years. And that is his 100 years. So here, King Yayati, he met Devayani. She was pushed by Samistra, if I can still remember, was Sarmistra? Yes. Um, they were taking bath in the heavenly planets, and somehow Lord Shiva was coming. So everyone took their garments to cover their bodies. But somehow there is this another personality, and she pushed Devayani. Actually, she mistakenly took Devayani's clothing, and therefore she fell into the well. And then when she fell into the well, while King Yayati was doing his, see, the Satriyas, they're allowed to do hunting, to practice their skills of martial arts. So for them, hunting, killing animals is allowed, Satriyas. And he was passing by into the well because he became thirsty, and he saw Devayani, naked, of course, right? The cloth were taken by this other personality, other girl. And actually, she was cursed, Devayani, because she started to become upset and also say something which hurt the other personality. So the other personality, that girl, I think starts with S. Can't remember now. Anyone remembers? Sarmista. Sarvista. Yes, thank you. I'm close. So she's naked, and so the upper garments of Yayati he gave to her to cover herself, and he lent his hand to be picked up. So now, in Vedic culture, it is like this: the the ladies they're very chaste. This Vedic culture, unlike in those days, by sunset you will not see the fair sex. That means the ladies, the women, the girls outside. They're inside already of their homes because they need to be protected. When their children still young, they'll be protected by the parents. Then when they grow up, get married, of course, protected by the husband. And then when they really have this, you may say, retard, vanaprastha, or eventually the Vedic culture is that the man will become renounced. He will take sannyas. How many stories we've heard of this from these scriptures? Kardama Muni, one of them, huh? The husband of Devahuti, the mother of Kapila. Yes? So Vedic times is very difficult, but at the same time, also it is difficult because then, in a way, that they have to accept what's happening. Like Arjuna, he has to be in the battlefield, or um, Draupadi. Draupadi also. Uh, so many calamities happened to the five Pandavas. She's an ideal wife. Same with Devahuti, ideal wife. Kardama Muni, ideal husband. King Yudhisthira, ideal Kshatriya. Uh, Srinivas also. There's a story in Chaitanya Charitamrita whereby this marriage is considered to be sacred. It is difficult because at the same time you have to balance and you have to understand the principles of Dharma. So Devayani, being a daughter of a Brahmana, and King Yayati is a Satriya, they are seemingly incompatible, because the husband is supposed to be in a higher caste. Huh? In a sense, that is real caste system in those days, by the way, because they're qualified. Nowadays, the caste system is my father is a Brahmana, I'm also a Brahmana. No. But in those days, they follow this system of varnashram system, whereby the wife is supposed to be in a lower order, say social order than the husband. Now, if the husband is this what you call pratiloma and anuloma, yes, anuloma. So, however, even though this is not proper, but because it is the will of the providence that he lent his hand to pick up Devayani, so Devayani now accepted him, Yayati, as the husband. So this is Vedic. Another Vedic type of marriage is what you call the Rakshasa. Rakshasa marriage. This is when Queen Rukmini she heard the story of Krishna from the Brahmanas, from the sages, the pastimes, and when these Brahmanas keep on making these histories or illustrations, Queen Rukmini became attracted to Lord Krishna, and she determined that Lord Krishna should be my husband, only husband, even though her brother wanted her to be married to Shishupal. So she wrote a letter, she sent to Krishna by a Brahmana. And this is why he called Rakshasa, because Lord Krishna took away Rukmini, is why he called not eloping. Is it eloping? Elopement. Do they do that in India also? Yes?
All kinds.
Everywhere. I'm sorry, it is the fact. But even though they're not compatible, the message here is that the compatibility of the husband and the wife, that because it is sacred, in those days it's difficult. What to say now is also more or most difficult to balance this. That's why I need to have this compatibility arranged or be have research done. Both families will see if the astrological chart, and there is a certain percentage, I can't remember now. If you pass that, you're good. And if you don't, then there'll be some tribulations, some problems. And therefore, it is very important. Marriage is not meant to be difficult, but it becomes difficult, especially if the husband and wife are not mutually understanding each other, and that Krishna is the center of their life. Now, that is the main problem, because in my travels, most of the times the grihasthas would tell me, Maharaj, I don't have time. I don't have time. I go to work. I don't go anywhere. Go work, home, work, then programs. Still no time, especially they have to be strict. According to Srila Prabhupada, one must attend morning program, also must have a sadhana. Chant rounds first, maybe half of the rounds. We usually advise them to get up by 5 a.m., perform their morning duties, worship the Lord, and chant. There is a formula also. Srila Prabhupada mentions morning also and evening if the family members can be together and spend some time, like say 30 minutes, do chanting, do bhajan, read one sloka. Because the duty of the parents, especially if they have children, is to bring up their children to be ideal, Krishna conscious personality as well. But it's very difficult. What to do, especially if they're not understanding each other, having Krishna as a center, then it ends it up in divorce. Ends it up in divorce. And there's a high rate of divorce. Sometimes they don't want to get married anymore. They just, what do you call it? Live in? Yeah? Live in?
Shaka.
Shaka. Shaka.
Oh,
Yeah. It's very, and then if the other person not wanting anymore to be together, then they ended up splitting from each other. And who's going to get more of the sufferings? The children. The children. So it is very important that we follow this somehow, as much as we can. Even in ISKCON, we have this marriage website compatibility, isn't it? Even in Delhi, especially, we have many thousands of devotees there. And somehow, if one is fortunate to meet that way, what they call it, soulmate? Yes? Is it a soulmate? I don't know.
Devoteematch.com.
Excuse me?
Devoteematch.com.
Yeah, devoteematch.com. Okay, I'm giving you some. The in marriage, both should be strong, but especially the men. He has to be Krishna conscious, at least. But ideally, both. Now, if both of them are weak spiritually, then they're not going to make it. It'll be difficult to make spiritual advancement. If the husband is weak and the wife is strong, that is better. Because then the husband will be lifted up. Be lifted up. So, the householder life, even in Bhagavad Gita 6, says sex I am, not contrary to religion. Yes? Because they have to understand that Grihastha life means regulated life, not meant for sense enjoyment. Otherwise, it becomes Grihamedi. Usually in family, you want to make your family members happy. That is the tendency. Family members means the same karma. That's why we took birth in a particular family, because only in that family that we'll be able to either enjoy or suffer the reactions from our previous activities. So nowhere else we can get that in the particular karma. So now there is a tendency, because one must be very careful. I want to make my family members happy, but then I became out of the boundary. I just want to make them happy materially. And I was saying that also because most of the times when I travel, I meet many of our Grihastha devotees living at home. So most of them are very ideal, but some of them are finding it difficulty. But there's only one simple formula here. Have Krishna as a center. Have the word considered to be a sacrifice and an offering to Krishna. Yajna tat karma no yatra lokoyam karma bandhana tad artam karma konteya mukta sangha samachara. Work has to be done as a sacrifice. So how can do that? How? Because most of the time you say, Maharaj, how can I think of Krishna while I'm working? That's a good question, because if you're working, let's say, mechanical work or computer work, it's very difficult, isn't it? Because our motto is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That works to everyone, whether you're a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. Sannyas mainly should be 24 hours only engaged in Krishna conscious activities. Now the grihasthas, no, their time is divided. So how can you think of Krishna for grihasthas? That's why it says you should read every day. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Srimad Bhagavatam, associate with the devotees, come to the temple as often as you can. Like if a devotee lives like 10 minutes away, why not? He cannot come every day, but maybe during Janmastami only, or Gaur Purnima, or some festivals. How can you think of Krishna? Well, if you have been to the Holy Dham, you have this pilgrimage. I'm sure you'll have this also fond memories. I will use the name word fond memories. There's something which is like remarkable, wonderful. So that same energy, same vibration, same atmosphere, always lock it up in your hearts. And wherever you go, you try to also share it. And remember, yes, if you have time or it's available that you can listen to Prabhupada's lectures, why not? How about the children now? Because I notice as soon as they grow up, they change. In the beginning, they will take the chamara and fan, well, to do also like pretend how to do artik, or they want to do artik. But then after some time, I would say at the age of 14, 14, 13, 14, they change. They have this kind of mentality. I can do whatever I want to do. No one can tell me what to do. I have my freedom now. I don't know. Is that correct? Yes. Yeah, it's like
108%.
108% Maharaj. Yeah, it's like they're not rebellious, but they started to analyze many things now in their life. What they're gonna do, what they wish to focus on, the direction where they want to go. They analyze things now. What you tell them, the parents, what to tell them. So as Prabhupada says, a child up to 5 years old, you can let him do whatever he wants to do. How can you stop a kid like that running here and there? But then at the age of 5, one should be told, the child should be told what to do and what not to do. This is not good for you. Don't put your finger in the fan. Something like that. And then by the age of teenager, uh, the parents should treat them as a friend. Or the children, there should be a mutual understanding also between the children and the parents. The parents provide everything: security, food, education, all the necessities needed. So the children also should reciprocate. But then again, because of their association outside, you will hear something that you will not be speaking at home when they go to school. So right now, there is what you call homeschooling. Many of our children are being taught at home, so they don't get that bad influence at school. And in New York, even elementary school, they have metal detectors because they bring guns. They can see, the parents having this. They think it's toys, so they bring in school. Um, so they have to be taught how to become strong in values and morally, ultimately become Krishna conscious. But I've seen also some of them, they may, because here in America, at a certain age, you can live separate from your parents, and it's all right. Is that correct? What age is that? 16, 16. And therefore, some of them, they will live nearby the parents, our devotees, and they're favorable, they're vegetarians, but they will not chant even one round every day. That is the problem here. Because everything that we do is focused on chanting the holy name. Um, so we try to encourage them, and somehow or other, the parents, if they're not able to fully convince the children to be Krishna conscious, what they can do. They can just remind them. They can just remind them of what is proper. Don't spoil. Don't spoil the children, especially when they're young, they're kids. Spoiling means giving more material things which is not going to help the child to be Krishna conscious. So here, Devayani and Yayati, even though he did not like it, but because again it was arranged by the providence, then he accepted and he liked Devayani anyway. So similarly, we may face in our life some adversities, some things that it is not according to our wish, that we do not like to do it, but for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, we should accept it. This is the sign of one's making progress in Krishna consciousness. Number one quality that actually we need to cultivate is humility and obedience. This is what I've learned. It's for everyone, humility and obedience, because without humility and obedience, there is no surrender, and without surrender, there is no love. And this is for everyone, again, not just for the brahmacharis. They have to be obedient to the spiritual master. But grihastas, one should not think, no, I'm a grihasta. Actually, grihasta is another rank, in a sense, stage in spiritual order. Grihasta is second. Brahmachari means they cultivate knowledge, they dedicate themselves for the following the instructions coming from the spiritual master, preach. The grihastas, this is the platform of how to learn how to become detached. It is not the platform where one will have unrestricted sense enjoyment. There is a license for sense enjoyment in the grihasta life, but it should not go beyond the borders, the boundary. And then there's vanaprastha. The vanaprastha means the retired life. In the retired life, the husband and wife, they travel together, going to different pilgrimages, like in holy dhams or tirthas, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Puri, South India, to enhance more their Krishna consciousness. No more physical contact. I know some devotees, they're very strict also. The husband and wife, they live in a separate room or separate bed. Because, again, controlled senses must be there. And then the sannyas order. So everyone has to, in order to attain Krishna prema, one has to follow the process. And here we've learned about these things. It's amazing in the Bhagavatam how the personalities here, they give us so much information, how we can learn and also apply it to our everyday activities. This may happen many thousands and millions of years ago, but it's still applicable now. There's so much. It's a big topic. I just mentioned a few things that I can still remember. Do you have any question or comment or reflection or anything? Yes.
Yes, Maharaj. I appreciated your point about the husband should be a good devotee and strong in character, and even if he's not, if he has a good devotee wife, that will help.
Yes.
So my question was, what does it mean for a devotee, a husband to be a good devotee, especially what does it mean for him to be strong in character?
Yes. So the ideal is that the husband should be the one who's leading the whole family to become spiritually strong. Yeah, but if the husband is so busy working, he may not have time for this, and he forgets his duty, because the husband has to have also his duty, protection, and also help everyone to be Krishna conscious. This is ideal. Because one should not be a king, one should not be a guru, one should not be a teacher, one should not be a spiritual master, one should not be a parent if he cannot liberate his subjects from the cycle of repeated birth and death. So if he's neglecting that, it could be the other way around also. The husband is so enthusiastic and then the wife is not supporting. That's another problem there. There's another problem. I know. Ideally, both of them should be together, because that is the way it should be, husband and wife. Till death do us part. In times of troubles and happiness, we should be together. Usually the ladies are very inclined, they're more inclined than the husband, because that is their nature. Prabhupada gave an example, is like when there's a big gathering, the women has more in numbers than the men. You know, where I go, different places, there's a Mataji's club or something, preaching program, Mataji's group, study group. I've never seen a Prabhuji's study group yet. I mean, Prabhu's. I'm sure there is. Okay. But I'm just not. There is. Before. See, everything changed after COVID. There's some plus and there's some negatives also. Yeah, before, they go, but after COVID, they just rely on this live stream or something. Maharaj.
We do have a mantra retreat every year.
Mantra.
It's very successful.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Sure.
Be nice if other parts. There are men's.
Yes, there are men's group. Yeah. But generally speaking, I'm just saying that the Matajis, they're more inclined. Yes, if both are weak, that's finished. If the husband is weak and the wife is a little stronger and Krishna conscious wise, and that is better. Yeah. That's what it means, yeah? Yes?
If no one else has another question. I'm just thinking,
It's a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Prakash Maharaj. You were talking about how progress in bhakti can be identified with one's humility and obedience.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could speak about how one should, what one should do if they want to be obedient to the orders of their guru, but they're having difficulty executing them, like a particular instruction. How would you go? Yeah, what advice you have on this?
Maybe you can ask for help from your peers, among your peers, that means your friends, or see, along with the instruction coming from the spiritual master, the blessings for that instruction, the execution of that instruction, the blessing comes along for that to be achieved. So we should have full faith on the words of the spiritual master. Nothing is impossible. That faith alone will give us the courage to try. I will use the word try. If we say, oh, I cannot do it, and not doing it, then how can you tell that it's not working? That it's difficult. How can you tell? You're just analyzing, oh, this is difficult, I cannot do it. Better you try, and Krishna will give you the intelligence also how to execute and fulfill that order. Yeah. Yes. This side, any question? See, here we learn so many things, eh? Grihastha ashram, brahmachari ashram. This is real education, not the what they teach in universities. Yes.
Maharaj, a question that maybe devotees may be thinking is like most are very young.
Okay.
How do I know when the time is to make that decision to move into family life?
How do I know? Well, first, you see, to be a good grihastha, you have to be a good brahmachari. Like, this is training. Usually, at the age of 25, the man or the boy, that is the age. Because in Vedic culture, 50 years old, Vanaprastha. Like, again, then later on, the renounced order. So, yes, in Vedic times, they get married when they're young. But they don't get together. Yeah, it's like, see, they're so strong. The boy will think always, she is my wife. And then the girl will come, do cook, all these things. The girl also will think, he's my husband. This is young. Then a certain age, yes, the final formality will be done. But the whole thing here is that yes, for the man is 25. So that means usually it should be that the wife should be a younger age. Sometimes the wife is older than the husband, and there is always like a race of position. But most of the times is the husband will become like lower because of the age. It will not work most of the times. It's like that. So, yes, you know when you know. The spiritual master also. Prabhupada says all the brahmacharis should remain single, unmarried, and all the girls should be married. How is that? No, because for the men they can do it, but for the ladies, the women, no, they need always protection.
Did Srila Prabhupada reply to that and say, that is management?
That is management. That is management.
That's what I remember
Mm.
hearing.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, thank you so much for the beautiful class.
I didn't explain too much. I'm sorry.
Beautiful comments from your mom. It was very nice.
Mm.
The thing is that you said Prabhuji's don't read Mataji's read because Prabhuji's go to work. When they are they read a lot.
That's
But
right.
when they go to work, they don't have time.
Mm-mm.
Mataji's when they children send the kids to
Mm-mm.
school, then they
Right,
will be
right,
read.
right.
And the school kids come back, they have time.
Mm-mm. From time to time, the grihastas also should go out like bonding. They don't have to be like, there's a formality. You go on a picnic, go to a park, sit down together, play together, something.
Yeah, in Melbourne, I'm from Melbourne, Australia.
Mm.
There is a lot of homeschooling going on
Mm.
because they don't want to get infected from the
Right.
outside world.
Yeah.
So go homeschooling about 25, 30 kids, they have lots of excursions.
Yeah, they're very fortunate, those who can do
And
homeschooling.
also I read Maharaj that Prabhupada says the girl and boy ideally has to be 6 to 10 years different. Can you please speak?
I don't know.
I read somewhere.
6 to
Prabhupada
10?
said 6 to 10 years.
Well, there's a big gap.
All day. Before it was all day, before it was like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, maybe
Nowadays, same age.
we can do
only
some
younger.
research. Yes, we can do some research. Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. You have touched many beautiful, wonderful points. One comment and one question.
Mm-mm.
You're mentioning about the children when they're small, they like it, they're sensitive.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Serious. I would say that maybe because also they also when they are at home, parents are taking care, but when they are at school, they have also certain friends.
Yeah.
Because that takes time.
Mm-mm.
And also, I would say that maybe the parents should not keep any gap. They should bring the children constantly to temple.
Mm-mm. Yes, that is a duty. Yes. And when they come, then they meet also fellow other children devotees. Yes, that is the duties. One of the duties of the parents. And usually there is a Sunday school, different age bracket, for toddlers, for children, and then for the youths. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
The question is this Ayati and
Devayani. Yes.
because then Ayati became to be youth of his son.
Mm-mm.
He said that he was enjoying for 1,000 years
Mm-mm.
with his wife,
Mm-mm.
and then he got fed up.
Yes.
But then he said that they also both of them got liberation.
Yes.
How is that?
Well, this is what I call and live happily ever after. Yeah. See, there are many the stories here in the Bhagavad. If you're not included in the Bhagavatam, that means you're not a liberated soul. All of them. All of them. They ultimately, the demons, they were killed by Krishna. They got liberated. So what to say? They teach us instructions. But ultimately, the goal is to be Ante Narayana Smriti. They remember Krishna because of their pious credits. So yes, everyone. And Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. Even Jagai Madai, they're both the lowest of the low. They become liberated by the mercy of Gauranitai. So ultimately, again, the stories here will give us how we can apply things which happened millions and millions of years ago now in Kali Yuga. If we follow, it's like how Prabhupada, arranged in such a way that he has to put these astrological things. We have to do that. Have to do that. So, yes, ultimately, Krishna's arrangement, all of them, they ultimately attain liberation.
There's 9 cantos.
Yes. 9 canto, that's liberation. Ah, that is the title. Okay? Thank you for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Ho Shitana Pimanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Before you leave, we have some Maha sweets for you from Jagannath. So please call stand by the door and give those out.
From Jagannath in Puri or Jagannath?
From Jagannath.
Okay. They're the same.
They're the same.
They're the same.
Sakshat.
Yes.
It's all good.